All right, what's going on, guys? I'm Andrew.
And I'm Mo.
We are the lead designers and the guys behind 2Swift. Both of us have mechanical engineering backgrounds, and we work for an engineering firm in Cleveland in the product development section. Today we're just going to kind of break down some of the technical components, talk about how the 2Swift's built, talk about the geometry, and some of the specs. First thing we're going to start with is the battery. We're running it's a 12S 3P battery configuration using the Molicel P42As, which are super high-end PEV cells. This is running a 48-volt architecture, and the battery is laid down flat in the chassis here, so it's well protected, and it provides this board with about 16 to 21 miles of range and pretty good acceleration.
The motor that we're using is a direct drive hub motor. It's a 500 watt nominal motor with 1,300 watts of peak power to it. Top speed you get on the 2Swift is 24 miles an hour. We are using a ferrofluid injection into the motor to help with thermal performance. That way you don't get the overheating issue out of it.
So both the front and the rear wheel are using 9.5-inch pneumatic tires. That's going to help you, conquer potholes if they're not too big. It'll help you roll over bumps and cracks, and it really helps give you a nice smooth ride depending on your terrain. So that's definitely a huge benefit. And also a benefit to the tires is, the round profile is really going to give you that carving sensation or the feeling of riding an edge, similar to snowboarding. What that does is it allows you to switch back and forth side to side super responsibly. So moving forward, we'll talk about, kind of the front chassis and the front frame, we call it. So this is 4130 chromoly steel tubing. It's extremely strong and durable, yet lightweight. And if you look at this, it's raked back at a negative rake angle, and what that kind of does is that allows the front wheel caster to stay centered when the deck is parallel to the ground. So when you put the weight of the rider on the deck, it's going to automatically pull the wheel into the center position, and for the wheel to turn, it actually has to pick up your body weight. So that allows the board to be extremely stable at high speeds, yet at low speeds. When you really start to angulate this deck, the caster will kick out, and the maneuverability on this board at low speeds is pretty quite impressive.
One of the big things that we added to the 2Swift is an adjustable steering dampener. It's built right into the headset, and what the steering dampener will do is help reduce any likelihood of getting any flutter in the front wheel as you're going over rough terrain, giving you a little bit more stability as you're riding.
So I'm just going to touch on a couple of the wear components on the board. So there is, with the board being two wheels, when you're not riding it, it does kind of lay down on its side, or if you are to, have to run off the board, it is going to scrape the ground. So there are a couple components on the board that were designed to wear and kind of protect the aluminum and steel chassis. So this front bumper, this is a injection molded plastic piece that is replaceable. This takes a lot of the wear in this front two corners. And then back here, there's two rail guards, we call them. Those kind of protect the back end of the aluminum rails and take any wear. And then also the deck kind of has these wings that kick out on each side. So these pieces, when the board's laying over, these are the pieces that touch the ground. So this will get a little bit scuffed up, as you ride your board. But these are all, relatively cheap, replaceable parts that can easily be swapped with a few screws. And then we're also, working on developing a few accessories for this board. One that we have just released is these are shred light, headlight, and tail light mounts. So these are, designed to fit the shred lights. It's the SL300 headlights, and then the SLR1 rear tail lights. It'll also fit the SL1000s. But these brackets can be purchased on our website. The headlight bracket just goes right underneath the steering stem clamp. And so when you actually turn the wheel, the headlights kind of follow the trajectory of the front wheel, which is kind of neat. And then the tail light brackets just bolt onto the rear wheel carrier back here, and they tuck in the tail lights kind of right next to the chassis and kind of help protect them. A couple accessories that we're working on developing currently is a front fender that not only protects water from shooting up onto you while you're riding, but also will help protect these chromoly tubes in the case of a crash where these scrape the ground. So that would be a plastic guard that comes across these tubes and then puts the water down underneath to protect the rider, and then also a rear fender to kind of help keep water from splashing up on your legs while you're riding. The bottom of the board uses this is a UHMW pretty thick skid plate, so this is kind of designed to take a beating, and it's also very low friction, so it can slide over, you know, surfaces like a curb or something like that. So it's not going to snag on you, but it's also going to provide some protection. So the 2Swift comes with a handheld wireless remote. It has a small display that'll show you your speed. It'll show you the battery of the board, the battery of the remote, how far you've gone. It also has 3 power modes, low, medium, and high, which controls the amount of torque that the motor has. It will not limit the top speed, but it will control your acceleration. Acceleration is controlled by pushing the throttle wheel forward, and then pulling the throttle wheel back will start to initiate the regenerative braking.
Yeah, so tying back into some of the specs on the 2Swift, as we mentioned earlier, there's a top speed of 24 miles an hour on this. With the battery that we have on here, you get an estimated range of 16 to 21 miles, just depending on your rider weight, the terrain that you're on, and how aggressive you're riding. We do use a 4-amp battery charger on this, so you get full charge from 0 to 100% in just a little over 3 hours. We are a company out of Cleveland, Ohio, meaning we are stateside. We do have parts available for the board, so if you do have to make a repair, this is DIY friendly. If you do have any questions or anything we can assist you with on it, feel free to reach out to us. All the 2Swifts do come with a 6-month warranty on them, so if there is any issue, don't hesitate to reach out to us.